Get in!
So I get a lot of comments on these type of videos asking for different positions all the time. Now I've pretty much covered everywhere on the pitch apart from centre midfielders, so today we're going to be talking about that. Now it might be a bit strange for a centre midfielder to use skills because they've not got a lot of time on the ball as they're in the main part of the pitch. But there is quite a lot of skills that you can use and get away with that are very simple and easy, and I'm going to show 5 of them today. Now if you want to see any other positions, there's a playlist in the description below that you can click and you can see any position on the field, as I've covered everything apart from centre midfielders, so that's why I'm doing this one today. But yeah, you can see any position, right back, left back, striker, whatever you want to see. I also have another series as well which I'm doing right now, and it's when a certain position should use skill. Now you can use skill on any type of position, but when is the right time to use it? Now that's what that other series is about. Again, you can check that out in the description below. If you've got any other questions, like personal questions about skills or tips or football in general, then go to my Instagram and you can direct message me on there and I reply to them as much as I can. I always eventually get round to your questions, so if you want to ask them, then obviously it's on the screen right now. You can go down the description and you can get it from there. But either way, if you're enjoying these type of videos, then click the like button below, go down the comment section and let me know. And also the notification bell's on the top right end of your screen, and that will notify you exactly when I upload, and you guys can go ahead and watch the videos straight from there. But yeah, enjoy the video. Okay, so for this first skill, it's pretty simple. You don't actually have to touch the ball, you just got to let it go through your legs. I don't think it has a name. I just normally call it the dummy, just because you're going to get the ball and take it forward, but instead letting it go straight through your legs and go in the opposite direction. Why it's so important for a centre midfielder to use this skill is because they're always getting pressed from different angles, from the front, the sides, and if they need to turn out as quickly as possible, then this is the best skill for it, as long as it's got enough pace on it. Now you've seen a few examples here. One of them was really hit and overhit, and now it's a bad time to use that skill because you don't know what's behind you all the time, and another defender or keeper could come sweep that in if you're a striker or you're playing higher up the pitch. But for a centre midfielder, they need a right amount of pace on it just to be able to turn out and still have enough time to go collect the ball and then pass it off or do whatever they want after that. One thing you do need to bear in mind though, using this in the centre of the park, so if you're very central when using this skill and you don't realise what's behind you if you haven't had a look, then don't use this skill. Make sure you have a look first and know that there's spacing behind you for you to be able to do that. This works very well from throw-ins as well. If you're going to get the ball and there's not many options and you don't have a lot of time, it's nice to just turn out and you let it go through your leg, and then you can go and do whatever you want with the ball after that. But again, just make sure there's spacing behind you, make sure you get the dummy right, and you'll be fine. This can also be used as a pass as well. It doesn't have to be the skill. You don't have to always go and get the ball. If the ball is passed into you and there's a player behind you that you know is on your team, you can just let it run, and it's like a little 1-2. You can let it run and move into space and collect the ball after they've passed it to you. So just make sure there's a player behind you when you're doing that again and not in opposition. Okay, so moving on to the second skill. Now you'll notice these 5 skills are quite simple just because centre midfielders don't want to be using too flashy skills, because in the middle of the park is where you really don't want to lose the ball and you want to keep it as simple as you can. So these skills are going to be very, very simple. So if you guys that don't use a lot of skills, then these will be really handy for you. But this skill right here, what you're doing is you're opening your body up to then come back inside. So I've seen our centre midfielders, especially in my team right now, if you guys haven't been watching the matches that I've been uploading, you'll see it on there. But our centre midfielders use it a lot. They let the ball come across their body, they open it up, and then they come back inside again. And I've seen it used at the top levels and at the bottom levels. It works very smoothly. What it also allows as well is the defender to come close into you, so you're baiting the defender right in, or the midfielder, whoever's marking you in the middle, and then as the ball comes across, you go back across them, getting a few yards on them to then play a pass or dribble past them, whatever you want to do, have a shot. But yeah, you can just really bait that player in, really draw him or her in, and then you can just get it past them. But make sure you do open your body right up, as if you're opening your groin up, and then you're coming back inside. Again, I didn't show it in the example, but you can also do this with the outside of your foot as well. You can let the ball come right across the other side, and you can use the outside of the foot and go back across. Either way, it doesn't really make a difference. It does the same type of thing as long as you're opening your body up on both sides, and make sure you're getting that feint in as well to allow the defender not to know exactly which direction you're going. But just don't overcomplicate it. It's opening your body, you're coming back across, then do whatever. It might not do the defender, but it might really dummy them, and then you can get past them. So just do it, get it done, pass it off, or shoot, whatever you want to do. Okay, moving on to the third skill. Now, this isn't exactly a skill move, but it allows you to do whatever skill you want. So in the midfield, you're going to get pressed really close, and there's going to be players that really want to take the ball off you. Now, if you fake to do a pass or a shot or anything that you want to do, it allows you to really bait the defender into throwing a leg up in the air to try and block the shot or pass or whatever it is, and then you can come inside them. It doesn't matter which direction you go, what skill move you want to use, but in the middle of the park you can go any direction and then make sure there's a pass because you've got players around you everywhere. So if you're in the middle there and someone's really pressing you, you can fake to pass or long pass, short pass, whatever you want to do, and you can just cut inside them. Use a Cruyff turn, use a chop, use a little inside your foot, outside the foot, drag back, whatever you want to do. But as long as you're looking for that fake pass, either a long ball is perfect because it really swings your foot back, and then you come inside them, and then that way you can get a few yards on them. These skills, a lot of them can be used by any type of players, but I just feel like it's really fitting for a centre midfielder because they get pressed the most and they don't want to lose the ball. So like I say, you want to keep it as simple as you can. That's why I've chose these 3 so far for the centre midfielder. But yeah, you can use this in other positions, but why it's so great for a centre midfielder, like I said before, is that you can go in any direction and you'll have players around you. If you look to your left, you've got your left midfielder, your left back and your left striker. You look to the right, it's the same side. Next to you, you've got another centre mid. Depending on what formation you're playing, you might have 2. But yeah, it's just a really nice skill just to turn out and look up and see what you've got in front of you. Okay, so for this 4th skill, this is going to be a little bit of a difficult one, and I wouldn't use this unless you are really comfortable with it. Now, it's one when you're standing up against the other centre midfielder or whoever's on you, and they're trying to jockey you. It's perfect time to go out in either direction. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it one way, a few little touches with the top of your foot, inside your foot, whatever you want to do. Just drag them one way until you think that they're going to try and commit and take the ball. That's when you pop the skill off, and you really want to push out as quick as you can. Now, I have one example where I really kicked the ball with using the skill, which is one that I really want you guys to eventually move on to once you've done the first part. But that's pretty difficult, so for now all I want you to do is the first part where you're just dragging it over and then stopping it and then moving it out. Now there's also one example where it kind of gets caught at my feet, which you don't want to happen, and I've left it in. I don't normally do this, but I've left it in just to show you guys that it does happen, and if it does, then you really need to push it out and get it away as quick as you can, otherwise they're going to try and steal the ball. But the main example that I want you guys to really get hold of is the one where you're dragging it over and you're really flicking it out to get away. It's the one on the screen right now, and why I'm trying to push you guys to do that is because the ball gets really far out there and then they can't really read that, and you're already know what you're going to do in your head, so you're going that direction. It is a difficult skill to pull off, like I said, and don't use it in really critical situations, but if you're really comfortable with it and you're standing someone up and they're jockeying you, it's a perfect time to go in a different direction because they think that you're passing it one way, but in fact you're going the other way. So give it a shot first just by trying to get it stopped at your feet and then touching it out with the 2-touch, but then move on to the 1-touch thing where you're dragging and flicking it out, and that'll give you more space and time on the ball to do whatever you want with it after. Okay, so for this last skill, it's very simple. It's the drag back, and you kind of push it out to either side that you need to, depending on where the defender is approaching you from. So when the ball comes into you, again, if you're being pressed from the front, it's a nice little one to just drag it into your feet, so they're not going to be able to get the ball, because if they do want it, they're probably going to foul you. And then you can push out either direction, and again, they won't be able to touch the ball without fouling you. So you're either going to get past them, or they're going to foul you. Pretty simple. Why the drag back's so effective, though, is because as a centre midfielder, again, you're going to get pressed from every angle, and you pulling the ball into your feet makes them commit their leg towards you, and that way you can just push the ball around the leg, as you can see in the examples. And it's just another one of them skills that you can use in any sort of situation, like it depending on where you're facing or whatever, but you can use it anywhere. If you're in the corner and you're stuck, you can actually go between 2 players using this skill, but you're always going to get fouled if they don't get the ball, as long as you're doing the skill correctly. Just make sure when you do this skill, it isn't something that gets you quite a lot of yards away from the defender. So once you've done it, pass it off, or make sure you just have a shot or something to get the ball away, because you're not going to gain many yards on them unless you've got pace on the other player and you know that. You can take it past them and run past them, but either way, yeah, just make sure that you're going to try and do something straight after and you know what you're going to do, otherwise you're going to get trapped and you maybe get the ball took off you. So just make sure when the ball comes into you, you wait until they're quite close, or if they're pressing you pretty hard, pull the ball right into your body and then push out, and you're kind of making your legs go a bit further backwards than your body, so then they have to really reach for the ball, and it's just a nice one to go around the legs. So give this one a shot. So for this example of a knuckleball, this one you want to try and make the ball bounce just in front of the keeper, making it really hard for him to know whether to dive to the bottom corner, stay up on his feet, or go higher up there. Alright, so when I'm doing the knuckleball, the part of the foot that I'm using is like this bit right here, which is like your big toes bone, and I'm feeling like I get the most power from that little spot right there. Now if you catch it cleanly on that part of the toe I've just been talking about, you'll see that the keeper struggled to push it out to the side. He did on one of these 3 examples I'm showing right here, but the other 2 went straight back out in front of him, which means another striker running in or anyone can come and finish up the pieces. That's not the keeper's fault, that's just because the ball's moving that much. He just has to make sure he's trying to keep the ball out rather than pushing it to the side. He doesn't really have a choice because of the movement of the ball. See that there? It just kind of like it kind of moved a little bit, but the ball stays. Instead of the ball going forward like in the air or backwards, it kind of just stays still and then moves whatever direction it wants to, making it quite impossible for the keeper to know exactly where it's going to go.
Get you in.